Hey everyone, and welcome back to day 36 of 100-Day Code of the Programming Zone. Subscribe and turn on bell notifications. Today, we're building a super secret entrance that only those with the right credentials can pass through, a login page. Let's craft a virtual gatekeeper that keeps your app safe and sound. 1. Import the toolkit. Import Tkinter as TK. This line imports the Tkinter library, which provides tools for creating graphical user interfaces in Python. 2. Create the main window. Window equals tk.tk. This creates the main window of the application, where all the login components will be displayed. Window.title sets the title of the window to login page to make it clear what it's for. 3. Username label and entry. Username label equals tk label creates a label that says username to prompt the user to enter their username. Username label.grid positions the label in a grid layout at row 0, column 0, and aligns it to the left using sticky equals W. Username entry equals tk entry creates an entry field where the user can type their username. Username entry.grid positions the entry field next to the label in the grid layout. 4. Password label and entry. Password label equals tk label creates a label that says password to ask for the user's password. Password label.grid positions the password label in the grid below the username label. Password entry equals tk entry creates an entry field for the password, but with show equals to hide the characters as they're typed for security. Password entry.grid positions the password entry field next to its label. 5. Login button and function. Def login clicked defines a function named login click that will be called when the login button is clicked. Username equals username entry.get retrieves the text entered in the username field. Password equals password entry.get retrieves the text entered in the password field. Hashtag add your authentication logic here, e.g. check against the database. This placeholder comment indicates where you'll need to add your actual authentication logic to verify the username and password against the database or other credential. Storage. Hashtag if successful, proceed to the next window or action. This comment suggests what to do if the authentication is successful. Hashtag if unsuccessful, display an error message. This comment suggests providing feedback to the user if the login fails. 6. Create the login button. Login button equals tk button creates a button labeled login and links it to the login clicked function using command equals login clicked. Login button.grid positions the button below the other elements, spanning 2 columns for a wider appearance, and with some padding for spacing. 7. Keep the window open. Window.mainLoop starts the Tkinter event loop, which keeps the window open and responsive to user interactions, waiting for events like button clicks. Here's a detailed explanation of what will happen when you run the code. A window will appear on your screen titled Login Page. Inside the window, you'll see a label that says Username, a text box where you can type your username, a label that says Password, a text box where you can type your password, a button labeled Login. If you click the Login button, the code will retrieve the text you entered in the username and password fields. It will then reach the placeholder for authentication logic, where you'd need to add your specific code to check the credentials against the database or other system. If the authentication is successful, the code should proceed to the next window or action as you've defined. If the authentication fails, you should ideally display an error message to the user indicating incorrect credentials. The window will remain open and responsive to your interactions until you close it manually. So stay tuned, grab those coding hats, and get ready to level up your Tkinter skills even further. See you next time, Coding Wizard.